Well, I'll try to make this video a little bit shorter than my other ones, but we did it. We got rid of our old 14 titanium EcoBoost Escape, and we ended up getting this. We got a 2021 Escape Hybrid because I refuse to get another EcoBoost. And I was in the market for the hybrids, looking at the CR-V and the RAV4, and I didn't realize that Ford actually came out with the hybrid again. It actually gets better gas mileage than either one of them. It's about 200 pounds lighter. We really enjoy the car, and this one was pretty much, I would say, over featured. Yes, it's the SE, it's not the titanium or the SEL, but it has almost everything in it. There's some things that, that this doesn't have that the titanium had, but I can live without it. Like, it doesn't have the 3 positions for the seat programming. I really don't care about that. It has, yes, it's got manual seats in it, but the features I was really surprised of was it has the lane centering, and it keeps you from falling asleep. It'll keep you in the lane. It has all the electronics package in it. It's really YouTube got music. It is really nice. The seats are cloth, but they are comfortable. It came with everything. The heated seats. I wouldn't say absolutely everything, but it came with a panoramic sunroof. What's also really neat is the rear seats actually, they go forward and back. Now the higher trims have the middle that comes down. This one doesn't, which it really isn't that big of a deal for me. There's a whole lot more leg room for people in the back and in the front. The dash is pushed further away from you, so you feel like you have more room, and there's more side-to-side room whenever you sit in it too. I was pleasantly surprised. And the back, I like the back. I think it looks, in my opinion, I think it looks a little better than the older ones. And no, this one doesn't have the power lift, but that's fine. There's pretty much the same room. You've got the split on the seats. The weird thing is it doesn't come with a spare tire. However, this is Ford's solution. It is a compressor, and it puts in a leak stop at the same time if you happen to get a flat. Now, if you have a catastrophic tire failure, you're probably going to have to call a tow truck, but that's Ford's solution to not having a spare tire. And the battery's in the trunk, so for you stereo guys, this would be a pretty good plus, because you wouldn't have to run wires all the way from the engine compartment. And because right now Ford is so limited with their stock, pretty much you have to get them whenever they show up. I really wanted the blue, and we happen to have a friend that works at a dealership, and he said, hey, there's a blue hybrid, you need to go and check it out. And we did. It was a little more money than I was wanting to, than I was expecting, because if you go on the Ford site and do your own build, it was the MSRP was a little more than I was prepared to pay. But after seeing all the features that it had on it, all the extra features, the lane centering, the anti-collision warning system on it, I could understand the extra money that was in it, and the panoramic sunroof, which, you know, I've always heard, you know, I had the SHO and the sunroof wanted to leak in it. I ended up fixing that by clearing out the little valleys. But sometime right now you're gonna have to, you know, get what comes on the lot, and hopefully it's as close to what you're looking for. Like, I wanted all-wheel drive, but we had that titanium front-wheel drive for years, and it was more than enough. We never got it stuck, and we're not going off-roading, so, you know, the all-wheel drive was just kind of a, you know, something I wanted, but I didn't have to have. And I was able to get the 60-month bumper to bumper added in, and I believe I only paid around $500 more than MSRP with the warranty included, because they were really wanting, you know, to sell the car. And I told them, this is what I want. I'm not going to go over this amount. And, you know, MSRP was, you know, it was around 34, and I was like, I'm not paying, you know, over that what's on the sticker. I was like, if you throw in, you know, 60-month bumper to bumper warranty, and you cover the taxes and everything else, you know, I'll have you a check tomorrow. And sure enough, after, you know, him going back a few times, which they have a lot of money that they can, you know, dip into, they're still making money. But this had so many options on it that it was worth it to me, and I was able to put down a good down payment, because CarMax gave me what I think was more than what her titanium was worth for the mileage. And so I came out pretty well after the down payment. So I didn't even, you know, I kind of looked at it as, you know, her escape was kind of like, it wasn't free money, but it was like money that really took away from it. So I was able to get the car, you know, for a whole lot cheaper, and a lot cheaper payment with that down payment. And I'll pay extra on it and pay it off in a few years. And something else from my Ford Insider, you know, he said, and he's actually family, so he's not gonna, you know, he's gonna tell it to you straight. And he said he has no idea how expensive these cars are gonna be next year. And yes, the old rule of thumb was, you know, you find a 2 or 3 year old car that hasn't hit, well, it's gone through its depreciation, and, you know, the new car owner eats that. Well, that's not the way it is now. You go and buy a 2 or 3 year old car, well, even especially like a 3 or 4 year old car that, you know, has hit a little bit of depreciation. They are going for, you're talking about a car with, I've seen them up to 45,000 miles, 3 and 4 years old, and they were only going for maybe about 5,000 less than like the MSRP on this brand new car. And what you don't realize is when you pay that much for an older car, your APR goes through the roof. So you end up spending the same amount of money if you finance it for the same amount of time. For like $25,000 car that's, you know, 3, 4, 5 years old, they're wanting like 4.5%, even with a credit, prime credit. So in the end, you're paying the same money as you would as just buying the new car, with, you know, and the APRs have just gone up. They've just gone up to, you know, 2.4. They were 1.9. If you financed it for, you know, like 4 or 5 years. Now it's gone up. So if you're going to finance something, you may want to finance it pretty quick. But that's my ramble about, you know, buying the new car. And you know, if there are any updates or any problems or anything like that, I will definitely video it and and tell you any kind of, you know, problems that we have with it throughout, you know, throughout the coming years. And hopefully this was, you know, hopefully this was a good purchase. Our relatives said that, you know, Ford's actually come a long way with these cars, and it's a whole lot better product than they've had in the past. And we didn't buy it from his dealership. Just to make that clear, this wasn't like, you know, him trying to, you know, sell us a car through his dealership. He had this car and it went to another dealership, and he told us, hey, this car is at the other dealership. So he had no, you know, underlying, you know, thing to try to sell us, you know, to try to sell us this car. He just knew that it was a good car and what we were looking for, and that we could, you know, we could get it for a good price if we really negotiated well. So go and negotiate, and if you're in the market for, you know, a crossover vehicle the Escape size, I really do endorse the hybrid if you come across one, because it has the power, and the 3-cylinder EcoBoost that's under it has less power, and it's still EcoBoost. I mean, even my friend, you know, at Ford says EcoBoost is a whole lot better than it used to be. I just don't trust the EcoBoost anymore. I'll never buy another EcoBoost. I wasn't gonna buy another Escape until I saw this one in the hybrid, and it's 2.5 4-cylinder with the hybrid in it. Timing chains, not a timing belt. That was something that kept me away from the Honda CR-V, was the timing belt. I didn't want to have to worry about a timing belt. The Subaru Forester, timing belt. Didn't want a timing belt. That's why I was looking at the RAV4, but they didn't have any RAV4s. So, you know, that kind of kept me from getting a RAV4. But these are lighter, and it's, even though the RAV4's got more power, this one I feel this one is actually quicker, and I think it's a pretty car. So that's it, and we'll see you guys later.